Hello, this is Paul Matthews. I'm the CEO of Netram LLC. Welcome. This is tutorial 14. In this tutorial, we will expand on the previous tutorial. In the previous tutorial, the IVR relied on key presses. The user had to press the keys on the phone. That can be a bit awkward if you are using a cell phone, and modern IVRs these days have voice menus as well. So let's see how can we implement a voice menu. The prerequisite of this tutorial is tutorial 1, which is Hello World, and also tutorial 13, which is the tutorial to create an IVR. This is going to be a short tutorial. Here we will enhance the gather to add voice menu, and then we will understand the user selection, and then we'll forward the call based on the key press or the voice option, and then we will whisper the department as we did in the last tutorial as well. So let's take a look at the source code for this tutorial. This is the main menu. There are some slight differences between the previous tutorial and this. One is this input. The input was not there previously because input defaults to DTMF. By the way, DTMF stands for dual tone multi-frequency. This is a mechanism by which the digits can be sent across a voice conversation. The addition here is speech, which tells Twilio that not just capture DTMF, but you need to capture digits, capture speech as well. These are the hints. The hints, we're going to give new customer, billing, dog with us, and directions as hints. And then, as usual, we have the action URL and also the num digits. There's no other change in this script. So if we, let me just explain to you what this hints is about. If you just give speech, Twilio will try to understand what you spoke. Twilio does not have much clue or much background on what you might speak. So Twilio needs to check your numbers against the entire dictionary, and there is a chance that Twilio might misunderstand you. Hints means you're telling Twilio that you are expecting these specific words. So Twilio will put more probability against these words. This does not mean that these are the only words that Twilio is going to detect, but you're giving a hint to Twilio that, look, the user has got a high chance of saying this. This using of hints is really recommended when you are building a voice IVR, because usually in a voice IVR, the options are limited, and hint is a good way by which Twilio can get some hints and thereby improve the detection accuracy. This still is not 100% accurate, but the results, if you give hints, is much better than not giving a hint. The main difference is going to be in this handle input.php. So let's open that one. Here is the handle input.php. Now let's take a quick look at the responses that Twilio will provide to the action URL. For that, we need to look at the gather. This is gather. And specifically, let's look at this action URL. Here, Twilio says that Twilio will include a digits parameter, and if you specify speech as input, Twilio will include a speech result along with confidence. Confidence says how confident Twilio is on the speech detection. So speech results and digits. So there are two parameters. Digits parameter is passed if the user pressed a digit, and the speech result is passed if the user actually pressed the user said something. So we are not sure what will be the case. So we need to figure out if Twilio actually detected DTMF digits or speech. So that's the reason for this check. Is set. We're checking if this digits parameter was set, If so, we'll put the key to be the digits that's set. If the speech result is set, then here's what we're going to do. If we are going to compare if the speech result, first we are going to get the speech result. So this request of a speech result will include the speech, and then first we'll assign the key to be 5. So that is if it's a catch-all case, if Twilio detected some speech other than the 4 that we entered. Then we are going to compare the results that Twilio gave. If it's new customer, then we are going to assign key to 1. So the idea is that if we want our switch statement to follow the exact same logic as we had previously. So we'll assign the key, and then switch will take care of it. If the speech is billing, we're comparing the speech that Twilio provided to us, we're going to compare it with the string called billing. If they both match, the result will be 0. Then we assign a key to be 2. If the speech is dog with us, then we'll assign key to be 3. Similarly, if the speech is directions, we'll assign the key to 4. The advantage with that approach is that our previous switch statement, it switched on the key, can remain. And if the user said something else, or if Twilio determined something else to be the speech input, then the key which is set to 5 will remain, and then there will be a fallback. It will come to this default, and it'll say that's an invalid option, please try again. So that's the main difference in this handle input.php. There's really no difference in the whisper.php. It remains the same. Okay, so let's try and play with this output in the browser first, and that's usually a good idea. That way you don't have to make calls, you can quickly see the results. So we'll pass on both digits, and then we'll pass on speech result, and we'll see what Twilio will respond to us with. So in this case, we have already started the ngrok, and our XAMPP is already running. So this is again tutorial 14, and so our script is handle input.php question mark digits equal to 1. The output remains the same. The output remains the same as we can see here. Now let's try to play around with some of this other inputs. So now we will give the input of speech result. So let's give speech result. Speech result equal to, let's give it billing. So as we can see here, this is identical to passing the digit of 2. Now, if we give speech result to be something else, so let's say it didn't capture it, so it got the output to be customer. Then we will hear this is an invalid option, please try again, and then we'll redirect to main menu. So that's basically how this input is going to work, and we validated the valid XML responses, and now we can make a call and actually try it out. So to do that, we'll have to install the main menu, main_menu.xml. It's the main menu. We can see the input and the hints here. We'll update our Twilio number with this. So I've updated the Twilio number. And now let's make a call. And I am going to say billing, and let's see if Twilio can recognize my voice.
Welcome to Kevin's Doggy Daycare. Please press 1 or say new customer if you are a new customer. Please press 2 or say billing if you would like to reach billing. Please press 3 or say dog with us if you have left your dog with us today.
Billing.
Please press 4.
So that call was answered. Now, there's also one thing that that we can see here. We can see the pause statements. That is also an addition. The reason is that last time we did this tutorial, these statements quickly followed one after the other. So the caller was not able to hear the different options very well. So that's the reason for adding this pause. So let's look at pause as well. So here is, so if we look at Twilio, there is pause. Pause should be somewhere here. There is pause, and this pause verb will default to 1 second. So we just added a 1 second pause between the statements. Then let's look at the output and see how Twilio passed on the so here's the incoming call. And here's the request that Twilio made. So this is no, that's probably not the one because it should have said pause. So let's look again and look at call logs and pick the latest incoming call. It might be this one. Let's look at the incoming call. There you go. That's the correct one. It's got pauses here. Let's look at the paused. Here is the request from Twilio. And let's look at the parameters. The parameter that we are expecting here is the speech result, which is billing. So we know that Twilio did capture, and here is the confidence that Twilio passed in, and Twilio had a fairly good confidence, I would say, over 75% confident that this was actually billing. And here is the response that Twilio provided, and that's how that number was called. Let's try again now. This time we will look at the option when the user said something else, in which case it should default to 5, and then we should hear that's an invalid option. So let's try that.
Or say billing if you would like to reach billing. Please press 3 or say dog with us if you have left your dog with us today. Please press 4 or say directions if you would like to hear our directions.
What's your name?
That is an invalid option. Please try again. Welcome to Kevin's Doggy Daycare. Please press 1 or say new customer if you are a new customer.
So as you can see, this is a different keyword that I said, and that did correctly forward the call back to the main menu. So that's the end of this tutorial. This was a short one. We enhanced Gather to add the voice menu as well. We understood what the user said. We forwarded the call based on either key press or the voice option, and we actually did whisper the department. That completes this call. That completes this tutorial. Thank you very much.